everybody, this is Alchemist2 and I'm back again with another movie review. I just recently watched The Red Turtle, or the title, since it's a co-op with a French studio, they called it Le Turtle Rouge. Same thing. The Turtle Red is how that translates, but it's kind of reminiscent of Castaway, if you've seen Castaway. And of all the Tom Hanks movies in the world, Castaway is my least favorite, and God forgive me for that, but I never really cared for it. But it reminded me a whole lot of that particular movie. And the reason I say that is because we have this nameless man who has just recently been in a shipwreck, and he washes ashore this island. And I have to say this, it's very reminiscent of a lot of French films that had little to no dialogue. There is sub-dialogue. It's more shouting and laughing than actual dialogue. But in and of itself, it portrays the scene absolutely remarkably. And the attention to detail that the animators used with every specific scene, it just absolutely takes your breath away. And I think it's a beautiful film. It's very allegorical. It's very symbolic. And I think that the movie itself resembles life. And there are some times in life where we feel like we've undergone a shipwreck and we find ourselves alone, lost and desolate. And then the unexpected happens. And instead of turning out to be something absolutely terrible, it turns to be something that we never thought would happen and something in our favor. But I'm not going to say what exactly happens. It's a beautiful film. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just the use of color, the use of detail in the bamboo forest when he is picking kelp to eat or interacting with the fiddler crabs. I loved that. The fiddler crabs were actually good comedy relief, believe it or not. If you've seen the film, you understand what I'm getting at. Fiddler crabs are funny. In reality, they really are. I love fiddler crabs. They're awesome. But anywho, it's just a really outstanding film, and I like the idea that they used some scenes with color and some scenes with black and white to evoke a certain mood that the character or characters were feeling. And you think, well, that's very intriguing. Now I understand why they would go with that color scheme or monochromatic due to the emotion. And you didn't even have to see the character to know what the character was feeling, or if the character had something terrible happen to him and just scream out in the rage, you understand exactly why, or from where he was coming in that particular instance. And it's a very good study of character if you're into psychology. I'm wondering how this could be analyzed. This is the type of movie that you could probably watch again and think, well, what did the director imply by having this or that, or the fact that he is on a desert island? It probably resembles the fact that he is an island himself, and he's got to survive. And to do that, he has to just live off of the land, which he does. And I'm not going to say what happens, because if I do, it'll be a huge plot point. But if you've seen the trailer, you know what goes on. And a lot of people would look at this kind of controversially, kind of raise an eyebrow. But I think that the whole thing, that was symbolic. I don't think that it actually happened. I think that what happened, and maybe it's meant to be more of a magical, kind of mystical thing. I'm thinking that's what occurred. But I'm thinking other people would probably disagree with me in that aspect. But it's a outstanding film. It just portrays life itself, what goes on in life, and what can happen, and the unexpected can hit you all at once. There's a scene that you think, oh no, and yeah, it hits you, and then you realize the devastation that has occurred. But you survive. You pick up yourself, you dust yourself off, start all over again. It's just like when I went through my father's demise, and no one ever prepares you for that, and I don't wish this upon anybody. I don't have any enemies, but if I did, I wouldn't even wish this upon them, because I don't really want anybody to go through this, because I wish they were still around. But after you lose both parents and you think, oh my God, I'm an orphan, what am I going to do? I'm adrift at sea. Well, that's not necessarily the case. I've got a lot of people that are around me and people that support me, and thank goodness for that, or I would go completely bonkers. But for those of us who don't have a network, to what do you reach out? Do people like that just feel like they are completely drowning, and then they just decide, screw this, I'm out, peace? Or I don't know. I've been there, even with a network of surrounding people to help me get through just horrible depression, and just feeling like my life, my work was worthless. And I just thought, well, what am I going to do with myself? I really don't know. I'm still kind of up in the air about it, but this is a great film, because it teaches perseverance, it teaches determination, it teaches that tenacity, tenaciousness is a good aspect or attribute to possess. Just surviving when the worst comes, and just continuing to be resilient in the face of danger. It teaches all those lessons, and the fact that it doesn't even have dialogue to do that. I think that's remarkable. Kind of like The Red Balloon or Samurai Jack, or what's that other film that doesn't have any dialogue? I forget. There have been a few films without any dialogue, but this is the first animated film that I've seen in a good long while that portrays little to no actual speaking, but just yelling, screaming, that kind of thing, in appropriate moments, and it shows what anger can do. Anger, when you act upon it impulsively, is never a good thing, and of course it illustrates that really remarkably well. Studio Ghibli, they've developed another masterpiece, and of course I read an article recently that Miyazaki-san, my hero, is coming out of retirement, and this is why I want to get involved in film and animation. I don't know if I would ever be selected to be on a team, because I don't know anything. I just draw. I don't have any real talent to animate. I want to learn, that's why. But if I were ever, it would be my dream come true if indeed I was on kind of a team to animate his final film. I would probably be crying. I wouldn't be when I'm actually doing the product, but in the process, when it's done, I would be blubbering like a baby. I wouldn't be like, my best and most glorious wish in my entire life has come to pass. And I remember a long time ago I had a dream about Miyazaki-san. This was when I was in college, and I remember I was showing him artwork, and he was complimenting me on it, and he was saying how excellent it was and how impressed he was with my work and how flowing and creative my characters were. And he said he could see a little bit of my personality in some of my characters, and he's like, I can understand why people like them so well, because they see a reflection of you. And I wonder what that would be like in reality if that were to actually happen. I would probably just crap myself or faint or something else completely embarrassing. But The Red Turtle, it came out not too long ago. The release of the DVD was in 2017. The dust jacket doesn't look that much different from the actual DVD, except it's kind of embellished with a little bit of holographic print there, and it just says The Red Turtle. But it comes from Malaysia or Kuala Lumpur. Woohoo, rock on Kuala Lumpur! That's where I get my anime, and I know some of it is not very well subtitled. I understand Japanese enough to actually get the gist. I don't speak it well, but I can't read it worth a darn, but hey, conversational Japanese, I understand. It's just, I'm thinking, yeah. But I wish I could actually speak it, because that would make my life so much easier. And someday I'm hoping I can go, but, visit people. I don't know anybody in Japan, so I would be completely shell-shocked. I would get cultural shock so bad. But I would be like a kid in a candy store, because, yeah, Japan. Need I say more? I don't really have that much else to say about this movie, other than this is probably a really good teaching tool. I could see this being used in animation classes as well, just because, like I said, the use of light and shadow, the color, in certain scenes, CGI, I don't know if they used it or not. I think they did, but it was more two-dimensional than the three-dimensional, and just the way that the waves move is really quite incredible, and just to see the scope of the waves versus the man, I think, oh my lord, yeah, I would be scared to death. You think, oh my goodness, you feel for the guy, you root for him, even though you know he's the underdog, and man versus nature. And he portrays himself more as a conscientious, it's like he is one with the island. It's amazing. I think, whoa, this is getting deep. It's a deep film. It's very philosophical, and I'm wondering if anybody else has any interpretations, because I'd love to hear them. I have a lot of my own speculations. But as far as films are concerned, Studio Ghibli, what more can I say? It's a work of art. It's a gem. It's rare. It's one of those movies that the ending is heartbreaking, though. I mean, you will cry if you've lost somebody, if you've had to say goodbye even recently. Yeah, you're gonna cry. I don't care who you are. You're gonna, if you don't, then you don't have a heart. You don't have a soul. But as far as films are concerned, this one gets the highest of grades. Of course, 2 thumbs up, 5 stars hands down. No kvetching, no complaining, there was absolutely nothing wrong with this, even though it seems like a more kind of slow, laid-back film. It's not the kind of movie that would make you bored. It's the kind of movie that is very low-key on one spectrum, but on the other side, there are moments that you think, you wouldn't want to be in the same situation as the nameless man. But in essence, it is an illustration, an allegory of life, like I said before. And I didn't really want, like, woo, yeah, let's just delve right into that. But anyways, I really enjoy it, since I'm a big fan of the water. I mean, I just absolutely adore the sea, and I could live in the sea if I had to. But that's all I gotta say. It was a spectacular movie, and I look forward to the last films that Ghibli will produce. And I forget the other studio. There's a new studio that's in Japan that they're producing a film I'm looking forward to called Hana's Flower, I think. Yeah, it's called Hana's Flower, and it's looking unbelievable. There's so many elements of just a lot of favorite Ghibli films I grew up with, and I will forever love Ghibli. I grew up with it. It inspired my art style. I wouldn't be the artist I am today had it not been for Ghibli. So thank you, Ghibli. Thank you, Miyazaki-san. Thank you, Goro-san. Thank you. I owe you. I don't know how I'm going to pay you back, but maybe someday. We'll see. That's about it. So I will see you next time. Live long, prosper. Ciao, tutti.